Okay, you guys, today we're going to be making these really cute hippos. Um, did you know that hippos and birds have what's called a symbiotic relationship? A symbiotic relationship is where they benefit from each other and they work together to receive that benefit. So, this is not the specific type of bird that hippos have this relationship with. The bird that they have the relationship with is called an oxpecker. And those birds will sit on hippos' heads and bodies and they will peck off or eat the ticks and parasites and other little critters and insects that live on hippos. So, hippos get to be groomed, which means that they get cleaned a little bit for free. And then the birds get some yummy to them, not to me, but yummy to them, food. Okay, so we're going to be drawing this, and then I'm also going to show you how we're going to color it as well. So you're going to get to start with a paper that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to be drawing in Sharpie while you guys draw in pencil, and then you will trace in Sharpie. So let me go ahead and trace this real quick so you can see it. Now what that means is you'll be able to see what I'm doing better, but it also means that sometimes I can't erase when I want to. Okay, so you're just gonna have to, I'll tell you need to erase in sections when you get there, but you'll have to remember that. Okay, so this is the hippo's nose. It's like he's kind of sticking out of the water right here. And then let's go ahead. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna draw the little nostrils. Okay, so you want to bring them wide so that you have space for the head. You don't want nostril here, although if you do that you can still draw your face wide, I guess. But I'm going to bring mine wide, and I'm going to do a nostril here and a nostril here. Okay, and then I'm going to draw these two little things. Now when you trace in Sharpie, you're going to fill these in. Do not fill them in now with your pencil. Okay, but when you trace in Sharpie, you're going to fill them in. Kind of looks a little bit like a frog to start with, doesn't it? Okay, now I'm going to bring a line up here and a line up here right by the nostrils, and that's for my hippo's head. And then I'm going to connect them with a curved line like this. And again, would I want to eventually erase that? Probably. Okay, but it's okay. All right, and then I'm going to give my hippo two eyes. One. Now you don't have to give your hippo these kinds of eyes. If you want it to give a closed eye or an open eye like this or a cartoon eye, that's fine. I'm going to draw two circles, a big circle and a little circle for highlights. And then again, when you go to do your Sharpie, you fill that in. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and fill mine in now so you can kind of see what that looks like as you finish drawing yours. If you want your hippo to be kind of girly, could you give it eyelashes? Yeah, you could also do like little eyebrows if you wanted to. I didn't do that on my previous one, but you can. And then we're going to do some ears kind of right out here on each edge. So I'm going to do an ear here and an ear here. And then I'm going to do the inside. I'm not going to color these in though, because I'm going to do those pink at some point. Okay. I'm also going to come back in and do some little like freckly dots right here. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and draw our bird next. Okay. Now, you don't have to draw your shape exactly like mine, but what I like to do is I like to draw a big kind of U like this. And then I give it a big head like this. So big U, a big head, and then I connect it with kind of like a little U. And that's my whole entire bird body. And then you can make your bird however you want it to be. If you want it to have a closed beak, you can have a closed beak. If you want it to have an open eye, you can have an open eye. I did mine with an open beak like this. I gave it a closed eye and eyelashes. You do not have to do it that way. I gave it a wing, tail feathers, and then some head feathers. Okay, and then it needs two legs with feet. Okay, so you guys take a break and work on your birds. All right, and you can see that bird looks a little bit different than that bird. That's okay. All right, take a break and work on your birds. All right, now we're gonna move back down here. Okay, this part is, I drew some like water kind of plants around where the hippo is, like some katydid kind of things. I don't know that they actually have those where hippos live, but I thought it would look nice. So the way we do those, if you want to do those, is you do ovals. 1, 2. I just did a couple on each side. One high. You see how this one's kind of high, and then this one's kind of low. So 2 ovals and 2 ovals. Then you give it kind of a scribble line on top and a stem. Okay. And then you're gonna need some like leaf pieces. Like tall triangles. If you want to do more than 4, you can. As you can see, these ended up smaller than these. That's fine. Okay. No 2 pictures are ever going to be the same, even if the same person's drawing them. Now in here, I drew some lily pads. Okay. I drew a lily on one of them, but then the other one I just drew some lily pads. So here I had a lot of overlapping because my little I cannot remember what these are called. Are they called milkweed? Sorry, you guys, I cannot remember what these are called right now. But my lily pads overlap these because they were so big. Okay, on here I have a lot more space, so they may not do as much overlapping. So what you do for your lily pads is you draw 2, 3, 4, however many lily pads you want. I'm just going to draw 2 big letter C's, or like a Pac-Man going. Okay, and then I'm going to do a V in the middle, and there's my lily pads. I do think, because I have so much more space, I might do a 3rd one right here that kind of overlaps this lily pad. So you see how it's a C, but I let this one be on top, and I'm going to do another V. And then I'm going to do a flower in the middle of this lily pad. I'm going to draw a big U like this, and then I'm going to draw some up and down lines like this. You can do that on every single one or just one like I did there. Here's how I did it in this one. Okay. Now in my picture, I only drew a couple more details with Sharpie. All right, I drew a few little lines like this for the water. And then I drew a few like water splashes, like the water is splashing where the hippo is in the water, like that. And then I drew some clouds, almost like a frame. So I've got these 2 here, and then I kind of framed like a the 2 clouds kind of up here. So you kind of have this balance and centering. Okay, you don't have to do that. You could draw like some little clouds. So you see how I drew this one, where I had 2 clouds, like 1, 2, and then I had these 2 details. It's almost like it's framing the picture. But on this one, maybe I will show you how to do like some little clouds that aren't framing it. Okay, and you could do other sky details. You could do like some little birds. You know, it's your picture, whatever you want. Okay, so when you are done drawing in pencil, you are then going to trace everything in Sharpie like I just did. One thing I like to do when I trace in Sharpie is add a couple of extra lines as I trace, like this. These are called expression lines. Expression is when you're expressing how you feel, right? And so these kind of give my art a little bit of expression. Do you have to do these? No, I'm just showing you. Okay, so you guys outline yours and then come back and meet me and we'll talk about coloring these, okay? All right, if you're back, we're gonna work with oil pastels first, and then we're gonna do some watercolors, okay? Now, hippos are gray. If you really wanted like a pink or purple hippo, I'm not gonna stop you, but do you think the water is blue and the sky, I don't know what color you're gonna paint the sky, because we're gonna paint the sky and we're gonna color our details with oil pastel, okay? So it just kind of depends on what you want to do, but I would not make a blue hippo because you're probably going to have some blue water, okay? So gray is a really good color for a hippo, and this gray is perfect. Look at this, okay? Now, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do or color this whole entire picture, but you're going to color things that you drew. So things we're going to color are our hippo, our bird, our water pieces here. We're going to color our lily pads and our lily, and we're going to color our, what are these plants called, you guys? I'm sorry, I'm going to look it up before I start shooting the next video. All right, and we're going to color these, okay? So you're going to color all of those with oil pastel, and then I'll come back and show you the watercolor. One thing I do want to show you is, let's say you wanted some white in your picture. So let's say I wanted like some white in these waves and stuff. Then you can take a white and you can add even more details that are there, and it will show up when you paint, because the oil and the oil pastel will stop the water and the watercolors from getting into your paint, okay? You can also color your clouds white if you want to help keep them from getting paint in them, but you do not have to, okay? All right, I'm gonna be back in just a second and then we'll talk about watercolor.